الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم الأمين. يا سيدي يا حبيب الله، الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رحمة للعالمين، وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا شفيع المذنبين. In today's lesson we will continue the translation and the explanation of Surah Al-Infitar. This is one of those surahs that we know from the Hadith that if anyone wishes to visualize the Day of Judgment as though it is before his eyes, then he should recite Surah Takwir, إذا الشمس كورت. He should recite إذا السماء انفطرت, and he should recite إذا السماء انشقت. So this is the second of those three surahs. And of course it talks about the Day of Judgment. It begins with the few signs, the few events that will take place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says إذا السماء انفطرت, when the sky splits open, when it is torn apart. وإذا الكواكب انتثرت, and when the stars fall away, they fall out of the sky. وإذا البحار فجرت, and when the seas burst forth. وإذا القبور بعثرت, and when the graves they split open and the buried they emerge from their graves. علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت. On that day, every soul will know what it has set forth and what it has left behind. قدمت means what it has set forth. This refers to the good deeds that a person has done in this life. If a person obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and completes his commandments in this life, then it is as though he has saved that reward and he has sent those good deeds in front of him that await him on the Day of Judgment. His good deeds are set forth. And Akhrat refers to the bad deeds that he did in this world, what he has left behind. Another interpretation or another possible meaning of this verse is that qaddamat, which means he brought first. This is another way of translating this word. It comes from the root word taqdeem, which means to put something forward or to prioritize something. Another possible way of translating this verse is that ma qaddamat refers to the obligations that he was able to carry out and he was able to prioritize. And ma akhrat wa akhrat refers to what he delayed, because akhrat means what he wasn't able to carry out straight away, what he delayed. So this is another possible meaning of this verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that when all of these events take place, when the Day of Judgment begins, every soul will know where it stands before Allah. Every soul will know what good deed it has done and what bad deed it has done. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhal insanu ma gharraka bi rabbika al-kareem. This is where we will continue from in today's session. First I will begin with the translation and a bit of explanation of these verses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhal insan, O human, O man, O mankind, ma gharraka bi rabbika al-kareem. What has lured you away from your generous Lord? What has deceived you in regards to your Lord who is known as Al-Kareem? الَّذِي خَلَقَكَ, who created you, the one who brought you into existence. فَسَوَّاكَ, then he shaped you. فَعَدَلَكَ, and then he proportioned you. فِي أَيِّ صُورَةٍ مَا شَاءَ رَكَّبَكَ, in whatever form he chose, he brought you together, he assembled you. كَلَّا, but no. بَلْ تُكَذِّبُونَ بِالدِّينِ, in fact you deny the final judgment. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ, while you are certainly observed by these vigilant angels, these hafidhin. Allah describes these angels as hafidhin. They preserve, they guard. What do they guard? It is coming in the next, the ayah after this ayah. Kiraman katibin. Allah describes these angels as kiraman katibin. The honorable scribes, they record, they write. What do they know? يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. They are aware of what you are doing. So it is your deeds that they are writing. This portion of the surah we will be looking into in more detail. Starting with the verse, Ya ayyuhal insanu ma gharraka bi rabbikal karim. I did briefly touch upon this in the previous lesson. Allah is referring and speaking to al-insan, mankind. But perhaps not all of mankind. Because in this verse, Allah says, مَا غَرَّكَ بِرَبِّكَ الْكَرِيمِ. What has deceived you, or what has led you astray from your generous Lord? And of course, not every human being is led astray. Some are believers, they believe in Allah, and they acknowledge His generosity, and they obey Allah, and they worship Allah, and they are grateful to Allah. So of course, these people cannot be referred to. In the Tafsir, it mentions that here al-insan refers to the disbelieving man, the person who doesn't believe in Allah, who is deceived, who does not obey and believe in Allah. Or it could refer to the one who does believe but he is disobedient. He does not perform the obligations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for him. So these are the sort of people that Allah is calling out to. He's calling to them. He says, Ya ayyuhal insan. O man, O disobedient man, O disbelieving man. Ma gharraka. What has lured you away? What has emboldened you against your Lord? What has made you careless in regards to your Lord who is Al-Kareem? This ayah uses a particular sifa, quality, to describe Allah. The purpose of this ayah is to make the person being called out to in this ayah aware of what is the reality. The purpose of this verse is to open our eyes. It is to warn us in regards to Allah's punishment. But if we are being warned about the wrath and the power of Allah, why is this sifa, why is the quality Al-Kareem being used? On the one hand, Allah wishes to scare and warn the disbelievers and the disobedient people, but on the other hand, He is using Al-Kareem in His ayah. And the reason for this is because Allah is generous. He has granted us so much. He has granted us the form that we have. He describes this in the following verses, that He has given us life, He created us from nothing. Then He shaped us, فَسَوَّى. He made us straight. And فَعَدَلَكَ. He gave us balance in our proportions. Our arms are proportionate. Our fingers on our hands, they're proportionate. We are able to pick up things easily. If all of our fingers were the same length, then we would struggle to carry out basic tasks. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His divine wisdom, He made the thumb a certain length, the index finger a certain length, the middle finger a certain length. All the fingers are proportionate to what is best for us according to Allah's divine knowledge. These are some of the great gifts that He has bestowed upon us. Apart from this, He has also granted us this body that we have, and the brain that is in our heads, this aql, this understanding that the animals haven't been given. These are some of the gifts, some of the generosity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. And after having received all of this generosity, what is most appropriate for us to do? It is to show our gratitude to Allah. It is to worship Allah and to obey Allah. The reason for mentioning His generosity is to bring us back towards being grateful to Allah and to bring us back to worshipping Him and to obeying Him. This is why Allah uses this quality of it, Al-Kareem. In the answer to this question, we find different answers in the Tafsir. The question is, what has misguided you, what has deceived you, what has lured you away from Allah, what has made you careless? And the answer to this question, the Tafsir mentions that, according to one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that a man's ignorance, his idiocracy, has led him astray. It is his not knowing, his jahl, his ignorance that has caused him to be led astray from his generous Lord. Umar radiallahu anhu answers this question by saying it is a man's shaitan that has led him astray. Every person has an appointed devil with him that tries to whisper in his ear and misguide him. And so it is the devil that was whispering in his ear that had led him astray from Allah. And another possible interpretation of this verse is that it is God's generosity and it is God's willingness to delay His punishment that led man astray. What I mean by this is that when a person slips up and makes a mistake, he sins, he is disobedient to Allah, what happens? Is he punished straight away? Does he see any signs of his wrongdoing in this world in that very moment? The answer is no. There is no. He does not perceive any consequences of that straight away. And this is part of the generosity of Allah, that in this world we do many bad deeds, we make many mistakes, but Allah always gives us the opportunity to do the opportunity to come back onto the straight path. But as for some, they see this as they see that they have done something wrong and they have not been held accountable. And they think because of this one instant of forgiveness that they can carry on doing whatever they please. They think that because they haven't been punished straight away that they can carry on doing whatever they wish. And so this is one of the possible answers to this ayah, that what has led a person astray from his generous Lord? It is the fact that Allah delays His punishment to perhaps let that person come back to the straight path, but that person takes it the wrong way and considers this a means of him carrying on doing what he wants. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِي خَلَقَكَ فَسَوَّاكَ فَعَدَلَكَ فِي أَيِّ صُورَةٍ مَا شَاءَ رَكَّبَكَ. That your generous Lord is the one who created you, He shaped you, and He made you proportionate. Your limbs, they are all designed in a way that benefits you. فِي أَيِّ صُورَةٍ مَا شَاءَ رَكَّبَكَ. In whatever form He wished, He assembled you, He brought you together. He did your tarkeeb, He put your parts and connected them. In this ayah, the letter Ma, some Mufassirin say that it is extra. This is a point of Nahu, but I'll mention it anyway. That the Ma is extra in this surah, in this ayah. So essentially the meaning of this ayah is fi ayyi suratin, in whatever form, sha'a, He wished, rakkabak, He assembled, He created, He brought your pieces together. And so this has the meaning of that God created some people taller, some people shorter. He created some people wider, some people slimmer. He created people with different forms. In whichever form He wished, He created you. He brought your pieces together. Kalla. But no. بَلْ تُكَذِّبُونَ بِالدِّينِ. In fact, you deny bid-deen, the judgment. In this word, ad-deen, in this ayah, refers to the day of judgment. It refers to the day when Allah will judge you. He will hold you accountable based on your actions. This ayah, combined with the ayah before, allows us to realize that this whole conversation is taking place with Allah and the disbelievers. Because before we had Ya ayyuhal insan, O mankind, O human. And here we have Kalla bal tukadhibuna bid-deen, that you deny the day of judgment. And so it makes sense that over there al-insan had to be disbeliever or someone who isn't aware of the day of judgment. He isn't bothered with the consequences of his actions. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ. And indeed, appointed for you there are these hafidhin. A hafiz literally means a protector. We call a person who memorizes the Holy Quran a hafiz because he has protected the Quran in his heart. He has memorized it. And therefore, if anyone was to try changing a letter or a harakah of that verse, of a verse from the Holy Quran, because he has memorized the Holy Quran, he would stop them right there and he will protect the Quran from seeing any changes. This is why a memorizer of the Holy Quran is called a hafiz. But over here, the reason why these angels are called hafiz or hafidhin is because they aren't protecting the Holy Quran, they are protecting and recording a person's actions, his a'mal. Kiraman katibin, they are honorable, kiraman, honorable, katibin, writers. They write down your actions. And these verses, they completely support the verse before, which was كَلَّا بَلْ تُكَذِّبُونَ بِالدِّينِ. Allah is addressing those who deny the day of judgment. But they shouldn't deny the day of judgment. Why? Because each person, his a'mal are being monitored by these angels. These angels are keeping track of what everyone does. Therefore, he should be careful of what he does and he should prepare for the day that Allah will hold these things against him. يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. They know whatever you do. They are aware of your a'mal. The final part of the surah, إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ وَإِنَّ الْفُجَّارَ لَفِي جَحِيمٍ. Allah says that indeed the virtuous will be in bliss. They will be in delight. And indeed the wicked will be in hell. This next part of the surah, inshaAllah ta'ala, will complete the prophetic lesson. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us a deeper understanding of the Holy Quran and allows us to rectify our good deeds and to seek His forgiveness whenever we are able to do so. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها عندك أعلى الدرجات وتبلغنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة وبعد الممات إنك على كل شيء قدير. ارحمنا يا